house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. I've been practicing this speech a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Big Easy Bets podcast. I'm your host, Logan, and with me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
Yo.
We got Bam on the ones and twos.
Yep.
Episode 121, we are on to the national championship. We're going to recap an unbelievable Final Four. The chickens came home to roost. Everybody was crying about, the no upsets, no Cinderellas. You got two incredible games in the Final Four. We're going to recap them both. It was a rough weekend, or a rough Saturday for me, which we'll dive in all of that. Hit the like and subscribe button if you don't mind. We're going to break down the big game, give you our best bets, and try to make some money on our way out the door. It's coming to an end. It's bittersweet, but, I mean, we got a crazy matchup here. What were your thoughts on the Final Four?
I mean, probably same as everybody else. Is Florida, Auburn. Auburn got off to a good start.
Mm-hmm.
We're really getting a lot of points in the paint in the first half, and then in the second half, they kind of just withered away. Started playing really sloppy basketball, and let Florida take over the game.
I was trying to – Janai Broome went completely non-existent in the second half. Was pretty dominant in the first half. They were not double-teaming him at all. Refused to do it. That was clearly the game plan. They were not going to let the three-point shooters have success and get open looks off of a double team. And Janai Broome had a lot of success in that first half. Second half, he scored 3 total points. I think one of them came from the free throw line and was a liability, to be quite honest with you. Whether he's hurt or not, I'm going to be honest, I think he's hurt, but that dude hurt the entire year. I don't know how many times you've seen him. I've seen it a million times where he's limping. He comes out for a shoulder, and he's back in the game earlier in the season. I'm not saying he's not hurt, but I don't know. Do you think Janai Broome was it a Janai Broome issue, or was it a Florida defensive adjustments issue? Or which one do you put more significance on why Auburn, it was a complete tale
it kind of just looked like in the second half Auburn was fatigued.
Yeah.
So they were just playing really sloppy. Not just him, but really everybody. And, Florida kind of was able to close the gap in points in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
They outshot Auburn again from the free throw line and behind the arc.
Yep.
And then they out-rebounded Auburn by 9.
Yeah, it's because I don't recall them in the second half really throwing a bunch of double teams or anything. I don't feel like there was an adjustment. I think they knew that they didn't want to get beat by the three-point shot, so they put an emphasis on covering that. And they do have bigs down low with Chinulu and what is it, Aberdeen or whatever the hell his last name is. They have size down low. Who's the white dude? Condon, which he's been kind of – the offense has kind of been non-existent for Condon, but he's doing a lot of other things to contribute. So I guess they just trusted that they had enough bodies to go one-on-one with Broome down low, and they just made sure they were not going to get beat by the three-point line. They held Auburn to 7 of 25 from the three-point line, 28%. They won the rebounding battle. Turnovers were pretty even. And, like you said, they closed the gap on points in the paint. That was the big thing. Auburn's shooters couldn't get going. Other than, like you said, it was a very sloppy game, and just no one thrives in a sloppy game more than Chad Baker-Mazara. He, willed them back into the game. Mm-hmm. And he's the one he ignited the run in the beginning. When he was hitting shots, I was like, okay, we're in business, because he's the wild card, and they kind of go with his energy, if that makes sense. But, yeah, I don't know. Pettiford did not play much in the second half. I don't know if just the matchup with the size of the guards for Florida It was interesting. It was very much a tale of two halves. You had Auburn with an 8-point lead going into the half, but then they scored 46 points in the first half, 27 in the second half. I don't know. It's hard to get a gauge, I guess, on how I feel about this one. Just like it's kind of hard to get a gauge on how I feel about the second one, which I guess we can transition to here in a second. But like, were you impressed with Florida's performance, I guess?
I guess somewhat of their offensive performance, especially at the end.
Clayton's clearly a stud.
Yeah.
He's a fucking beast. But I didn't walk away from that like, wow, Florida looked dominant, you know? It was a dominant start to the second half. They came out and hit them with an 11-0 run, I think it was, maybe an 8-0 run. And then it was kind of Auburn would close the gap, this and that, but there wasn't like a put your foot on their neck type of showing, I guess, you know? But Florida does get the win. They are in the national championship. Second game was Duke and Houston. And this, I'm going to be honest with you, this Saturday cost me a fucking shitload of money. And it's fitting that it went this way because I've been a believer and a fan of this Houston team for 10 years now, really since Kelvin Sampson got there. And I was on Duke. And we had the best number with Duke. We had the future with Duke. We had we also you had the under, which pushed. It was just a bad day. And I'm sitting there watching the money get lost because of the team that I've been, like outside of LSU, if there's any team I'm a fan of the most, it's without a doubt Houston. And I remember talking with people before this tournament started, like Houston, and we talked about it. Legitimately, Houston, you could make a case, was the best team in the country. So a lot of people are surprised that they're here. And I am surprised they beat Duke. Do not get me wrong. But a lot of people were like, oh, they're going to lose to Gonzaga. They're going to do this and that. It's like, no, this fucking team, what Kelvin Sampson has done throughout the years is one of the best coaching performances in the history of college basketball. To reload every single year and have basically carbon copies of the same style of guy. They've bought into the style that he wants to play and just the culture of the program. It's so hard to do. Very few coaches can get people to commit like that, and he did it at Houston, a team that was irrelevant since fucking Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler were there. I don't think they won a tournament game since the 5 Slamma-Jamma years. He gets there. They're a perennial Final Four contender. They would have probably beat Duke last year if Jamal Shead didn't get hurt. And with that being said, Duke was up 14, but it kept like Houston would close the gap, and then Duke would go on a little bit of a run again, and they would extend it. It looked like Houston was dead in the water. It looked like it was a done deal. Duke was going to win. Houston would keep kind of making it close, but Duke will pull away in the end, and there's just too much. The defense is good for Houston, and they made it a dogfight, but there's just too much firepower for Duke. And then you just watch it fucking – they wore them down is the way I looked at it. Because we're watching it, and Cooper Flagg looked fucking worn out. And it's like I said when we broke it down, it's like you're used to playing in the ACC, playing a certain way. Now you're going up against a bunch of savages that are going to beat the fuck out of you. And he got to the rim. He played fucking really good. Make no mistake, Cooper Flagg played an incredible game. But every time he would go to the rim, it was contested. He missed quite a few like layups around the rim that barely rolled off, but it's because they contest every single thing. But they looked like they were dead in the water. And then all of a sudden, what Houston wanted to do, it looked like took effect. They wore them down. I think they made one basket, maybe two baskets over the final like 13 minutes of play. This is the number one offense. This is the best offense in the country. A perennial superstar, a transcendent player in Cooper Flagg, another lottery pick with Knipple, surrounded by guys that can shoot the three, a 7'2" center down low who shoots 87% from the floor. They held them essentially scoreless, played Houston brand of basketball, and clawed back into this fucking game. And I'm pissed because I was on the wrong end of it, so I didn't get to fully enjoy it. Like you're sitting there hoping it doesn't happen instead of getting to just enjoy what you're seeing, which is, in my opinion, when you add in the circumstances and the stakes on the line, arguably the best comeback in the history of the tournament. Like, to go to the national championship, they were dead in the water when JoJo Tugler got the technical foul for hitting the ball out of his hands while Sion James was standing out of bounds. Kelvin Sampson literally fell down to his knees. Like, that was the killing blow. Like, that's it. Knipple goes and hits the free throw. They're getting the ball back. And they just fucking... I mean, Duke melted. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely melted. But you kind of have to... It's a takes two to tango type of thing where, like, any good comeback, it takes a team to fucking collapse under the pressure. And any team collapsing under the pressure, it takes another team to take control of the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like the craziest thing. I sat there for fucking an hour just on the couch. I literally was like, I mean, like I said, I got fucking steamrolled in the wallet. And I'm just sitting there like I couldn't move for like fucking 20 minutes. I'm not even joking. I was like, what the fuck just happened? And it felt just so wrong that I didn't get to like enjoy it because it just fucking financially ruined me. But it was like the most impressive thing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, Tugler got the technical, and then they stole the inbounds pass after they hit the three. And
fucking Malik Wilson goes out and tries to launch one for the tie. Like, that's the last guy other than Tugler that you want.
And yeah, Tugler got the amazing putback dunk.
It really is crazy because I was talking with a couple people about it where anybody who knows college basketball, like really knows it and follows it, knows Houston is a fucking powerhouse. But if you're talking to a casual fan or people that don't really like live and breathe it, no one expects Houston to do that because they're not a Duke, they're not a Kentucky, they're not a Kansas, they're not a blue blood team. But it is unbelievable the way that Houston is able to drag you into deep water, and you got to play their fucking game. You got to play their game. Duke scored 67 points. I understand Houston was down double digits for the majority, but Duke still wasn't scoring a lot. Houston just had a really tough night from the floor, but they shot. This is the difference with this Houston team. It's what we said. You still have the defense. You still have the rebounding, but now you have three guys that shoot 40+% from the three-point line, and you saw it. LJ Cryer put the team on his fucking back. Emmanuel Sharp hit threes when it mattered most. Like I said, I feel so fucking just like, oh, it sucks because it fucking... I have a Houston jersey in the closet. I've got a fucking Sasser jersey. It's like, I was like, at the same time, super happy to see it. Like, Kelvin Sampson, he deserves it. All these other players, like Juwan Roberts was a fucking rotational role player at best. Now he's the starting center on a team that's going to the national championship. And just the way they do things, they do it the right way. You see the footage is coming out now of like the Houston practices where they're doing everybody used to fucking hate it in high school or whatever. Like when you roll the ball out and you got to go race somebody, you got to dive on the ground to get it. They're like fucking killing each other. And they're doing it the perfect way where it's like a mosh pit basically, and everybody's going crazy and the coaches are going crazy. Like they have bred this tenacity and this persona of what they want to be, and you're seeing it pay off. Like it really is crazy because you have, especially now that they're getting paid this much money, you know how hard it is to get a 5-star fucking recruit to want to dive on the ground for a loose ball. So that's what I said. Dan Hurley's the best coach in college basketball. I take it back. I think Kelvin Sampson's the best coach in college basketball because if Shed doesn't get hurt, they beat Duke in the Sweet 16. They were in the Final Four 3 years ago. It really is remarkable what they did. But I would put that up there as one of, call it what you want, a collapse or a comeback, one of the best of all time. You know?
Yeah.
So Houston is in the national championship. I literally, like, I still can't wrap my fucking brain around it. I was sitting there like with my fucking mouth open. Like, I can't believe they pulled it off. I really can't. The sequence of events that had to take place for Duke to collapse and the turnovers, the Sion James dribbles it off his leg. Tyrese Proctor fucking making sure he gets the ball to go shoot the free throws to ice the game. He misses the first one on a 1-and-1. He was like adamant, like, give me the fucking ball. They get him the ball, he misses it. I will say the call on Cooper Flagg was terrible. That was not over the back. I don't know if you agree or disagree. He didn't fucking, Juwan Roberts boxed him out. He literally, you can see his arm doesn't make contact with his body. It's above him. That's my one gripe, and that's not what lost Duke the game, but it played a huge role. But I mean,
I think Houston was going to get the rebound regardless, but still, getting free throws versus having to go make a shot's a big difference.
Oh yeah, especially with an offense that has been struggling. But he was going to tip the ball, so you never know.
Well, Cryer ended up getting the ball.
He did. Yeah, so I didn't. It's still one of those things. You got to go down and score on an extremely good Duke defense as well. So, you just don't want to see it decided by the officials. You want it to be decided by the players on the court. So, but credit to Juwan Roberts because whether you agree with it or not, they called the foul. He goes and shoots 2 free throws. He's not a good free throw shooter. He knocked them both down. Juwan Roberts is a testament to a college basketball player, doing it the right way, and a guy that was not expected to be very good, and he has formed his spot, and he's going to go down in the history of fucking Houston basketball for sure. So the stage is set. National championship, Florida and Houston. Florida's 1.5-point favorites. Total is 140.5, give or take. Do you feel confident about it?
I think so.
Okay. Because I'm not even fucking kidding, dude. I'm still shell-shocked. I know which way I'm going, no questions asked, but I'll let you lead the way.
Yeah, so when we're breaking down Houston, Duke, I hesitated. I was like, I don't know if they're really going to be able to rebound against Duke as well as they normally do. Well, they out-rebounded Duke by 11.
The 7'2" center had 0 fucking rebounds.
Yeah, 18 offensive rebounds resulting in 19 second chance points for Houston. Houston shot the ball well from 3. 10 for 22, 45.5%. And they really hit threes at crucial moments. They had, I think, 3 straight possessions at the end of the first half that they made threes on to kind of keep this game from getting out of hand early. And then at the end, when they needed threes, they hit them. They also shot the ball well from the free throw line, 14 of 18. And then we just talked about it, never panicking no matter how much they're down. They were down 14. They cut it to 5. Then they end up going back down 9 with 2 minutes left. And then they win the game. But really, both Florida and Houston are battle-tested, right? They've both performed clutch down the stretch in a few games this tournament. Houston's going to be at a height disadvantage again against Florida, but after the way they performed against Duke, the nation's tallest team with an average height of 6'8". Houston's tallest players are 6'8". I don't know if that's as big as a factor as we would have thought before. If anything, Houston has an easier path offensively against not as tall and not as good of a defensive team in Florida. The big thing here is Houston going to be able to shoot the 3 again? They're the best team in the nation at shooting the 3. Florida's done a good job of taking that away from teams in a tournament. But I really think you got to, if one thing holds true, it's Houston's defense. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. The way they can stop people in transition, their on-ball defending. It's like they basically force you into a bad shot, like
into the shot
a
clock.
majority of your possessions. So it's hard to get assisted buckets against Houston because they just don't. They guard on ball and they guard off ball so well. So I think Houston's defense. I think the way the culture, the rebounding, the 3-point shooting. I don't know. It's so hard to bet against Houston here. When it opened -1 and then I saw money come straight in on Florida, I was like, okay, thank you very much. We'll take 1.5 now with Houston.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm taking Houston as well. There's no fucking way I'm not doing it again. I will go down with the ship. I'll go down fighting with the guys. It's not a coincidence that Houston does this to every single fucking team. Every one. And if they can come back... If they can make a comeback like that against Duke, head and shoulders better than everybody else I thought Duke was. I don't know why I'm talking like fucking Yoda. It's Florida we've seen a couple times this year. You can muscle them around a little bit. You can get Clayton bothered, and he starts making questionable cross-court passes and some turnovers and things like that. it's the one thing you can count on in this game for sure is probably that Clayton will go for 20, but is the Houston defense. And I couldn't even tell you who the best defender is, other than JoJo Tugler has stepped up and asserted himself as the best defender Houston has. But like at the guard position and all of that, because I was thinking, like, okay, who's going to be on Clayton? I don't fucking know, and I don't care. It's like the system, the defensive system they have in place it's like they're all like the same player in terms of defending the ball and all of that. Like the way they move in sync together in as one. It's like, yeah, they don't have one shutdown guy. So it's just another testament to Kelvin Sampson and what he's done over there. Yeah, I don't think the size is going to be an issue. I think because the ferocity that Florida plays with and the way they just crash the boards, it doesn't fucking matter the size. Duke was the biggest team by far. And I mean, we saw what happened. So it's not like Houston just willed in a couple threes there at the end. Like they beat Duke up on the boards. They did what they do best. They played their game. They wore them down. I think that they can do the same thing to Florida. I do. I think that it's one of those we can see them wear them down as well, and then Clayton can get frustrated and things like that. And you haven't seen the scoring from Condon, and outside of Clayton, where's the scoring going to come from, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So, because I'm going to pull it up right now.
And even watching the press conference, Kelvin Sampson was like, gave credit to Cooper Flagg, but he was also like, it was part of the game plan just to, okay, he can get his, but we're going to take away everything else. Like he mentioned, taking away Tyrese Proctor, on his dribble drives and forcing him to the baseline, which I think he turned it over there late in the end, or maybe that was Knipple who dribbled it off his leg. One of them, too.
It was Sion James.
Okay.
Yeah. That dribbled it off his leg, the baseline?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was James. Yeah.
But, yeah, they just, like you said, it's never easy to score against them. So even if I'm blanking on his name now, Walter Clayton has a really good game, it's like they're still gonna need more than just that. Florida will need more than just that to beat Houston here.
Yeah, Condon hasn't done really much of anything this entire tournament. Scored double digits against Norfolk State, but really hasn't done much. It's 6 or 7 points every game. He had one point against Auburn. Yeah, I think they're going to take Walter Clayton away. Somebody else is going to have to step up, and then I think it's going to be a very good game. I think this is a great matchup. Either of the 4 teams would have been a great matchup. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Houston here, plus 1.5. We've said it like a broken record. When this team is dialed in, when they're locked in defensively and they're playing together, which they do every fucking time, it's not a coincidence that they do this to everybody. They went from the American to the Big 12. They've run through the Big 12 every year. They've lost 1 game in regulation all season. I mean, what do you do? It was the build-up with Duke was that it was the number 1 offense versus the number 1 defense. Who's going to prevail? But the thing here is, what is it? The number 2 offense versus the number 1 defense. But their defense for Florida is not as good. So I think the defense for Houston's going to show up. If it's a little bit easier of a scoring night on offense, if Uzan can get going, if I'll go down with the guys.
Yeah, and it's also the pace here. Like Florida loves to run, and Houston's the best at not letting you do that.
Yep.
I think Houston probably prevails in that area as well. And I think it kind of takes Florida out of their game and what they want to do. And
I think it'll frustrate them. So, knowing that they want to play a certain way, every game we've seen with Houston, you play their way. They bring you into the deep water, and you got to play the way they want to play. And it looked like Duke was going to be okay doing that until they weren't. And then, I think we could see Florida get frustrated here. And like you said, they want to get out and run and gun. And, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. So it's not even just that Houston plays slow and they wait to the end of the shot clock and they're running their offensive set. They do such a good job of getting back and limiting you in transition. Like, that's what they fucking do. It's what they're trained to do. So even if a shot goes up, no one's just watching the shot. They're fucking getting back on defense or they're crashing the boards. One of the two. So, yeah, I hope they pull it off. It'd be a crazy story. Kelvin Sampson, I think, would be the oldest coach to ever win a national championship. It's been a long time coming. They've been knocking on the door for quite some time. There's been heartbreaking losses along the way. The Jordan Poole buzzer beater, obviously Jamal Shedd getting hurt. This might be the time.
Yeah, it's either going to be the oldest head coach to ever win or the youngest head coach to ever win.
Second youngest.
Okay.
Valvano was younger.
See, I just heard that on CBS.
I'm almost certain. Google Jim Valvano's age when he won with NC State. Or you could do youngest coach. I'm 99% certain Valvano won with NC State at like 37.
37 years old.
Yeah.
1983.
What's his name? Todd Golden's 39, I believe.
1985, so yeah, almost 40.
Yeah. So regardless.
Second youngest, yep.
Very young guy, hasn't been there for a long time. Completely turned the ship around for Florida and has them. I mean, no one saw this coming really. If you had a preseason futures ticket with Florida, you're sitting on a very good ticket right now. But I hope it doesn't cash. I hope Houston gets the job done. We are going Houston plus 1.5. Bam, are you going to bet this game?
I'm going to take the over 140.5.
Crazy bastard. I feel like it's like, I don't know what Clayton's point total is, but you'd have to expect he's going to get his numbers if Florida's going to win. But there could be a chance that they kind of just let Clayton do his and then make sure nobody else beats him, kind of like what they did with Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a chance he gets his numbers, but Houston can still win.
Yeah, I think overall, Florida's going to get locked up here.
I hope so. All right, so that is our best bet for the national championship. That's pretty much all I got. Is there anything else?
Nope.
All righty. Bam, do you have anything to say before we go?
I do not.
Episode 121 is in the books. It's been a fun season. It was a bad Saturday. We gave some back. Still been a profitable year, but we're going to hope we go out with a winner. If you followed along for this basketball season, whether through the podcast or through the plays of the day, we appreciate you. If you're still listening and you haven't done so already, hit the like and subscribe button down below. The next time we'll be back in studio will probably be for the NFL draft, if I had to guess. But I don't know. We got the Masters actually coming up this week. We'll figure out what we're doing for that. I'll do something at the very least. Then there's other shit on the horizon. So, but again, we appreciate everybody watching and listening. Episode 121 is in the books. Houston plus 1.5. Good luck.
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. I've been practicing this, a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.